Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We building it.
We had already built it.
You know what though? I hate
we
you.
built this castle.
I hate you. I can't rock with you.
That's
At least this episode, because I think it's for everybody who don't know. I wore a jersey last week. I wore a Clyde Drexler jersey last week. Dude couldn't stop laughing multiple times because of it. Then I come back with a jersey, and then he's in a jersey after.
I think it's different when you wear something like this. I would hate to stand up for our guests. Something like this, mind you, if I even turned around, they would know bib jersey over not the Drexler jersey. It's a difference. This J Kidd one,
tough.
Look,
it was the red
what do
one.
you
Hold
have
on,
right
it was the
now?
red Portland one. I got J Kidd. I
It
got
is,
J
it
Kidd.
is. It's just,
I got Phoenix J Kidd right now.
I'm gonna laugh at that more than I'm gonna laugh at a J Kidd or my baby jersey. And you would
That's
do the
true.
same. You would do the same.
I thought the J Kidd jersey was tough.
J Kidd jersey is, and it's
because it's
black.
Phoenix.
That's what I'm saying. It's Phoenix,
And it's
black,
Phoenix.
black one. You feel me? OG. We both rocking the OGs, but
We are
you know.
rocking OGs. But I'm gonna kick something back to you real quick.
What you want to say?
I want to throw you off guard. But first of all, before I kick you off guard, welcome everybody back to the GetBack podcast. I'm your host, Damian Dusten, here with the other hosts.
Ayden Jones, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
We never talk about this. And we refuse to talk about it because I never was really fully tapped in how you are until, I want to say about a week ago, I really started
up.
I woke up.
He woke up
and
from
I started
a
paying
long
attention
coma, man.
to March Madness, which I thought was kind of just very uninteresting this year. But these last two games have not disappointed. First of all, I want to go into the early game. Florida Gators versus Auburn.
What a game.
What did you think? What you make of it? Why did Florida beat Auburn?
It's not really about why. I think this whole season, that's what I'm saying. The whole March Madness by itself is such a special place when your team goes there. And when you go far, even when you go to Cinderella, go to the Elite Eight, like that means something, bro. You look at the players that they have on their team, it was bound to happen. Bound to happen. You have the Australian guy coming off the pick. You got Walter Clayton Jr.
Who, in my opinion, that game was just hitting NBA caliber type of shots.
I don't think people realize what we're seeing right now.
Step back is in the corner. It was, for me, that proved it to me.
First game in the Elite Eight, what does he drop? Drops 31 points. In the Final Four against, to me, I would say that, like, this is the first time. Let's say that this is the first time we have seen two SEC teams go to the Final Four and play each other. Like, this is like never seen before. So for it to be these two teams where you have Auburn, who's just the number one, just wrecking stuff. You got everybody on there who can shoot. You got Boom, who's obviously just a crazy prospect. So it was just a tough matchup. But the Gators, Walter, he is different. It get different over there. Walter, he's the first player to drop back-to-back 30 points since Larry Bird.
Since Larry
Bird.
Which
first to drop 30 in the Final Four since Melo?
Absolutely. Now, the thing that I really noticed in the Florida game is Florida just really stepped up the intensity on defense in the second half. When you look at Auburn was making some serious progress, in fact, leading at half, for it to then fall apart. I think it just goes to the Florida Gators' hustle, determination, conditioning, which we'll get to in a minute about the next game, which I think was huge. But Broom really, if he wants to take that next step in improving his stock, his conditioning failed him last night. I would
say his conditioning and his mindset. He played so good in that first half. Like, he dropped, I'm pretty sure it was like about 12 points. He was very efficient. He was getting to the post, obviously playing the defense that he needs to, as he showed us against that Michigan game. His body gave up and his mindset gave up in that second half. There's no way you are the best player and you go 1 for 4.
Yeah.
And then 1 for 5 from the line. You're getting free. It's called free throws for a reason.
Free
it's free
throws,
shots.
And those free throws were towards the end of the game too, which were
crucial,
super important.
Like pinpoint key piece that they needed.
But I really think that his offensive rebounding position can get a little better. I think he's kind of aggressive to the boards, which is a good mindset to have, but he's going to have to clean up his technique. But the conditioning really, that's what sold away the game. I think if the Tigers were able to keep it close in striking distance, which in my opinion is one possession late in that game. You could have got a broom game winner or a Cartwell alley-oop. Cartwell was super athletic that game.
You want to know who also had a big piece, and not even that. I think him coming off the bench and not playing that good before it, which made it pretty big. Thomas, like the big dude Thomas, Hall,
Yeah.
dog. That block at the end, that was like a crucial pin.
Block.
Like that was like basically bye. Like that was
Absolutely.
the end of the game. They went on that little 2-point run at the end. It was over. It was over from there. So they got the pieces to do it. I'll say that. I think they definitely got the pieces to go to that championship game and win that game.
Win that game. Okay, so let's before we get into that game, let's get to Houston versus Duke, which in my opinion was one of the most entertaining college basketball games. If you were somebody who had never watched a college basketball game before,
right,
and that was your first time, boy,
right,
like
what an
you're
interest
there.
you get, like what an intro you'll say.
The comeback was fantastic. I really saw Houston really struggled in that first half to get going shooting wise. They couldn't stop Duke. Duke was driving to
They
the
couldn't stop
basket
him. They
with
also
ease.
weren't trying to stop
They
them,
weren't.
dog. They were so focused
weren't.
on trying to get that offense going. They had no key pieces in that defense at all.
But Duke fully collapsed to blow such a lead with such a less amount of time.
2 minutes, 2 minutes and 11 seconds left. You're up by 9. It's 64-55.
In a college game, which is a lot different. The NBA pace is just a lot faster.
The NBA, if there's even 30 seconds left, you can still be like, well, my team got a chance.
Yeah.
College, you're up by 9, even with maybe about a minute, 2 minutes to go. Is much more difficult to at least win that game than it is in anywhere else. So
Cooper Flagg still had an insane game, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. I think he's probably one of the best Duke prospects to come out of Duke so far. Because
one of the best Duke prospects. Yeah. I can't say he's the best Duke prospect to come out in the last 10 years, but he's still just he's the best player in the country. He is the best player in the country. Now, my question is to you, what is he doing? Is he coming back home or is he going to the league?
I think he does have he has such a high level of competitiveness.
He was very emotional at that loss.
That you could see him return to Duke. I think now, especially with the NBA and the way it's shaping out, I don't think you want to go to.
I can't even say. I think that he has
teams.
Because I think I'm a pretty big fan of Cooper. I think that he just got a little bit of Kobe mentality. I think that he knows that the job's not finished. You were that close. You could put the blame on Cooper. I put the
blame on their head coach.
I put the blame on the head coach and Mr. Proctor. We can get into it. We can get into that. Do you think that foul that Cooper Flagg had at the end, mind you, we can talk about the missed shot. Everybody has those. It's a missed shot. You simply miss a shot. Was the over in the back foul call? Was that a good call, or what do you think?
I think
that late of the game.
I think in that late of the game, it's a hard call to make. If we're going by the terms and condition of what an over the back foul is, yeah, he fouled him. But I think it's a play on with how physical that game was.
How physical, but the comeback also, like, it was so crucial to their comeback to even get that foul. Like that gave them the lead.
Absolutely,
that gave them their first lead for a minute, dog. Like, that was big.
And before we get into one moment of that game, I actually want to circle back a little bit. Houston versus Florida. Who wins that one and why?
I'm going to say Florida. I will say this for one reason. Walter has shown us he cannot be stopped. I'm pretty sure because that Auburn's at least perimeter defense. Their guards are very nice at defending. They are. They're pretty good at defending. For Walter to dissect and break down that actual defense on the perimeter and still get off all of the shots that he needs, it shows me something different that I'm not sure that a Sharp or anybody else can actually stop on their perimeter. I don't think that Houston has defenders that
I think Houston does.
Stop that.
I think Houston can. I think offensively,
are you taking this off of how they played in the last 2 minutes or how the full game went? Because that full game, I can't say that because Walter, he's not going to
playing against one of the. I hope you know Duke is top 3 in their size. Pause.
They are
this year. So when you got guys who are just so big. Pause.
Pause.
I really think Houston got tough buckets at critical moments, and I
They
think
did.
I think they could do
But
it
it
against
was
Florida,
such
which is a lesser team in my
unless
opinion.
I'll say this, unless if they come off of the big momentum that they have right now from that game,
Yeah.
I don't see it. I promise you, we have not seen this type of run from a college basketball player, at least in
All
the SEC, in a very long time.
All right, so I got,
in a very
like I
long
said, I
time.
got Houston.
I'll take Florida.
We'll put 5 on it.
I got 5 on it. What you want on it, for real?
5.
10.
No, I'll do 5. I'm not crazy about it.
Scary
I'm new.
man,
I'm new to college ball.
scary
Houston.
man,
I got
scary man.
Houston. You got Florida.
Do you think that Sharp lights them up?
No, I don't think. I think Cryer does. He was tough last game. I think you're definitely going to see him maybe step up a little bit more offensively because they know that there was a statistic in that second half entering. Cryer was 6 for 9. Their team was 6 for 24. So
let's circle a little back to
the
to
Proctor
Luke.
play real
Yeah,
quick.
let's
I want to
not,
talk
not
about
the Proctor play. Let's talk about his full little
His-
last
yeah.
little couple minutes. That he
First
really
of all,
did.
not a good free throw shooter. They put him at the line once. He misses the one of them.
It's gonna be a long summer for him.
Yep.
It's gonna be a long summer in them gyms.
After the play in which they get the rebound, they dish it out to Proctor.
Right.
And Proctor had somebody ahead of him and got fouled and went to the free throw line and missed. It just made, you know what it made me think about Proctor?
What?
It reminds me of when Russell Westbrook
Here we go.
got the ball from Christian Braun, passed it out, and instead of doing the quote-unquote right thing and waiting out the clock, he goes up for the layup and misses it and gets absolutely scrutinized.
I'm so glad that you knew that was going to be brought up today. And I would say, what a transition. What a transition.
I had to.
Let's talk.
I
No,
had
I
to.
want you to look up here real quick. Let's talk
I should have worn my
about,
Russ jersey.
Russell
And you know what?
Westbrook.
I should have worn my Russ jersey not because he's the greatest basketball player of all time. Better than Michael Jordan, better than LeBron James. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
But
That's his GOAT.
I don't
That's his GOAT.
understand the hate, to the amount of the hate, because I understand he did play a part in that loss. But to say that he was entirely to blame, I've seen ESPN posting him in Lakers jerseys. I've seen
I just
Nick
don't think
Wright
that you
talk about how he's-
understand what happens when you have 60% of Lakers fans that are still blingling in every comment section and everything like that. And then you have somehow Denver fans who just watched, because he didn't want to bring this up either because that's his GOAT. Jokic had 61 points and he had a triple-double. Let's not bring that up.
No, I
let's not bring that
understand where you're coming from, but to blame that game solely on Russ,
It's
when you're
not solely on
upset-
him. It's just what a coincidence that it happened and then the foul happened right after. What a coincidence, right?
Up 7 with 34 seconds left in the game.
You're talking. It went to double OT.
It went to double OT, but the game should have never gotten there.
Stop. If they let go of that 7-point lead with the 30 seconds left and they won in that fourth quarter, that's completely different. When that team goes to the first OT and someone get past and they go to the second OT, whatever
We're just
happened
gonna blame
there,
that solely on Russ.
it's not solely on him, but a missed layup when you are that smart to not even take
Russell
the
West-
layup.
I
Why-
feel you.
why even
You know,
take a
Russell
layup?
Westbrook has won them about 5-6
why. See,
games
look, that's
in
what I'm
Denver.
saying. That's you being a fan. If this was anybody else, you're simply just
I
saying
understand.
that game's
I'm
on
saying-
him and you let it go.
Some of it's on him, but I wouldn't say all
Some of it,
That's crazy.
which is a lot of it.
That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure that if it was a lot of other people at that age and at that veteran mindset, they're most likely probably not taking that layup. You have the clock running.
I guarantee
What do
you,
most players do? Do they take the shot or do they run to the line?
Russell
and get more
Westbrook
time?
open layup. I want to know his open layup percentage versus his free throw percentage. I guarantee it's higher.
No,
I-
not a foul. I'm saying run the ball out. You know how players run the ball out to get more time off the clock?
Yeah.
Once you get that ball past the half court, because that was a full thing. That's why he's running so fast. You run the ball out. You waste more time. There's no reason why you even need. What did you need it for?
It would have put them up 3. And I don't believe Minnesota had a timeout.
I would take. That's the whole point.
So make
You
them rush
have
up
no
the court.
No, you have no timeout. I get the ball past the half court. Now I can waste as much time as I want. You have to foul me. And now the ball doesn't have to be in Russ's hands. While everybody's down there, give the ball to Yoke.
We can agree to disagree.
You can agree to disagree, but I think that you're disagreeing because that's your goat. Simply. If it was anybody else, what about the foul? Okay, we can let it go.
I mean, okay, we'll disagree to agree to disagree on that. But speaking of goats, Jokic getting mentioned in top 20 conversations, and you got Marcus Morris saying he's not top 20. Where do you put Jokic? Hold on, we're gonna play a little game real quick. I know I brought it up a little earlier to you because this goes hand in hand with that. Jokic is having one of the greatest years of all time.
That's in his career.
And there's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's allegedly going to win. Handily.
Not MVP. Okay.
Top 5 players that didn't win MVP when they should. You don't have to say the year because I know the years get a little wonky.
Let's go.
I have 2 right now off the top of my head.
I have 2 right now off the top
of
my head.
Sam.
LeBron James should have won MVP in the year of 2018. It's simple as that.
Wow.
You can say that James Harden did whatever, but I have a thing for this also. My second player, James Harden, was supposed to he was supposed to win the year before that. The year before that, James Harden was supposed to be the MVP of the league. They gave him a very I can't say that because he had historical numbers. LeBron James somehow had the best year of his career. There's no way he didn't get MVP. All of his numbers compared to James Harden, except for literally scoring alone, assists, rebounds, anything on defense, any blocks, any percentages ever. When I say like every percentage he had above him, except James Harden, he was averaging 33 points in 2018. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That is very crazy.
And 10 assists probably. He would average.
It wasn't Bron's numbers, man. Bron was literally better in every category.
I guess to winning it applies. So I agree. Because in my opinion, MVP is based off winning too. So I agree. So what's your other 2? Or 3? I'm sorry. You could list off 2 right now. The Nash ones. The Nash ones.
But you know what? Sense. I feel like I can't do that like that.
Wow.
If can I only have him on the list one time?
I have him twice. He won twice. So Shaq should have won it twice.
Stop.
Shaq should have 2
LeBron
MVPs
James, then he should have I think it was actually 2 other players probably in that same year that possibly could have got over Steve Nash. That was crazy to give him that MVP. That was like, come on now. I guess I would say Bron twice. I honestly,
Bron twice.
I could say Bron almost every year, but that's me being biased, right? Is that me being biased?
I think it's I'm not sure because I like where you're going with it.
No, you don't, because that face is telling me that you don't.
I'm just trying to think over the years. 2018, yeah, I see that. I see the year before the Celtics series. I just don't think anybody was snubbed those years, man. I'm looking here. LeBron.
Let's see.
2009, 2010. I just don't. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think maybe he should have one more.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna say LeBron twice.
So which year?
It'll be that 2018. No, 2007 and 2018. LeBron James should have simply been the MVP. I'll say my 4th, and this is a more recent one, which I think that they can possibly all agree on. I would hope so. I think that you possibly agree. Joel Embiid.
Against Jokic?
Joel Embiid, which I think it's on the same thing. So. No, that year before, he was supposed to remember that whole year. What did we say? Yeah. That was very pity. That was very pity for him to get it that year and not the year before. His numbers were almost better the year before.
Yeah.
How did he not get it? I think that year, Jokic stole it from him, and they stole it back from Jokic. Because honestly, let's think about that. If he didn't, Jokic would have had 3 MVPs in a row. And then when he has 3 MVPs in a row, you got to put him in some very uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
If Jokic has 3 MVPs in a row, something that pretty sure Kobe didn't do, Bron definitely didn't do. Stop. You would have to put Jokic in very uncomfortable situations or conversations if he has 3 MVPs in a row. He has to be now in your top 10.
Top 10.
3 MVPs in a row? Who else has done it like that?
You're right. You're
I'm
absolutely right.
simply asking. You would have to at least, or let's say like this, at least top 15. It wouldn't be no Marcus Morris going on live television and saying he's on the top 20,
I
would
mean,
it?
yeah, you're right. Because then you look
No.
at Bron, who got his 4 in a
Dog,
5-year span.
Bron, that's cool, but he
Then you have to look
never,
at-
and that's me right now as one of the biggest Bron fans. Bron never touched 3 in a row. Never did. Yoke would have, but they snubbed Joel Embiid that year. So I mean, hey, it's all right. Let's see.
So you said Shea's your fraud. So
And that's the thing. I feel like this year,
Nikola
everybody
Jokic is your MVP. Why?
we're fans of.
just because of that.
Stop, yo. This is the best year for his numbers. How would he not be the MVP? How?
You know what?
Honestly,
And as an
wait, let's
as an
talk about
OKC
this.
fan-
Let's talk about this because every single time that you guys have played them, Shea obviously he knows he has to go to work, so he does. Shea puts work
Absolutely.
on a show.
I think it's super close. I think you could see the first
What
ever
did Shea-
co-MVP.
What did Shea do that day after Jokic dropped the 61? He went 10 for like 26.
Not a great
Free
game.
throws gave him a lot of things, and he wasn't playing anybody good. I didn't, and you know that hurt. It hurt him. I know that you're gonna be like,
It hurt
well,
his stock.
it was one game.
And I think just
after
more
when-
recently, his shooting has hurt his stock a little bit.
It's the end of the season.
It's dropped off a little bit. He needs
his
a little rest.
mindset. He's so
Focused
locked in
on playoffs.
on the playoffs, and I think that's what we all like about him. Like this
Yeah.
may be like one of those times where whoever wins, it'll be kind of like okay, like it'll just be like you got it, because I think we like both of the players. Like Shea, he focused. Like if he don't win it, he simply doesn't win it. He's focused. So I mean, I don't know. I guess we can say Yoke is he should win the MVP this
Okay.
year, but
Okay. I said, I think I can see it splitting both ways. I just think both of them have really had moments which they really deserve it. But this MVP is going to come down to who had more moments where they shouldn't. And I think you more so look at team success with that. And I think that's why Shea's probably going to edge him because when Yoke and Shea played, they've obviously split. But the Timberwolves moment, that collapse of the team, Jokic's defense, I think it's just going to maybe edge to Shea. And Shea's going to win it, and that's why. But I think it'll be close. It'll be a close race. But, speaking of close in talent, and I need you to tell me if you agree with this, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Because those two have been playing lights out recently.
Yes, they
in
have.
The Eastern
The whole
Conference.
season.
And I think we see Boston, and everybody's already saying, oh, Boston to the championship
Right.
because they've been there already.
Right.
What about this Cavaliers team do you think propels them? And like I said, I was stifling towards the two tall gentlemen, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Who's better, and who's going to be more important in the playoffs?
I think for most people who watch at least basketball, will say that a fighting defensive player of the year candidate is our better player than Jared Allen. Jared Allen, he's just a friendly giant that is very good at basketball. He knows what his role is, and he plays it to perfection.
Wow.
Evan Mobley, it's almost like he doesn't have a role because he does everything on the court.
Oh,
okay. Him even adding his 3-point shot this year,
it's been huge. It's been huge.
So it's almost like, and I don't want to even get to that point. I'm not saying there's no comparisons like that. It's almost like when Giannis has started shooting threes. I'm being for real. It just opens doors. It simply does.
I
Because
think
now
Evan
you're not
Mobley's
just
probably progressing a little more than
you're just not
Giannis
focused
did.
on one thing at that point. When you
That's true.
when you can go out, because he was already shooting obviously the fadeaways and stuff, but when you can go past the perimeter, like it gets tricky for that defender. So
Yeah.
I would say Evan Mobley is the better player, and I think in the playoffs, Evan Mobley will have a breakout playoff year.
And
I
you said
think he will.
You said something a little interesting because I'm glad we touched base on both the first and the West and East. But now I want to touch base on something interesting.
Right.
A rising team, Golden State, and you speak of Defensive Player of the Year, Evan Mobley. How do you feel about Draymond?
You say rising team. Everybody's records, we have to get into that because it seems like everybody's rising. Everybody has the same record. That is so odd. So odd. But Draymond Green.
says been chirping saying he's defensive player of the year.
Let's take a sit back for Mr. Dre.
You know what? I think it's so interesting that and this is just because his podcast and him saying I deserve defensive player of the year, this and that has propelled
you know
that noise.
You want to know what's
and now
so
he's
ironic
leading the race.
about it? You want to know what's so ironic about it? What happened when Rudy had remember Rudy had that interview and it was not the crying one. Obviously the crying one's bad. We all hate Rudy. When Rudy he went on there and he said that I deserve the defensive player of the year award.
Yeah.
I did everything right. Blah 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 blah. All like that. And who was the first person that pooped on him? Dre. Dre hated that man for even going on any type of platform and telling us why he deserved it rather than his game just playing it.
Yeah. Which
Dre dropped a whole episode, dog.
Now I will say this: Draymond Green, since saying that, his
he
defense has tremendously
he was the
improved.
West Defense Player of the Month. That's fine.
And I will say,
numbers don't compare to anybody in the top 3.
Game against the Nuggets, he gave them hell.
That's cool. Once again, his number.
So you still believe it's Evan Mobley?
Let's say this: my top 2 right now are Dyson Daniels and Evan Mobley. When we look at both of their numbers compared to Draymond Green's, they don't compare. We look at even Dre compared to Evan Mobley because honestly, I would even possibly give it to Dyson Daniels this year. His steals plus the blocks, like everything he does to any guard, it is looking crazy. So he may even get that. Evan Mobley's numbers compared to Draymond, they exceed almost everything.
Everything.
All his percentages, you look at how he runs the floor.
So when we talk about
steals
impact,
with blocks, they're all more. It's different.
But do you think Draymond has a higher impact on Golden State or a higher impact on, or does Evan Mobley have a higher impact with Cleveland?
I would say a higher impact with possibly. That's hard. That's hard because I feel like Golden State for years has simply just been
worked
like
off Draymond.
Their key point. I think defensively, because Jared Allen, he's not our bet. Like he's not like a very good defender for somebody like of that size.
That's
I
true.
think Mobley just does so much. I'm telling you, Mobley goes out and guards Tatum. He'll go out and guard Horford. He just switches around so much to the point. I don't know what Draymond's doing against a very like warmed up Tatum. Not a Tatum that we all like. It's just Tatum. I mean, a warm 30-point Tatum. He hitting those shots.
Yeah.
I don't think Dre's guarding that like that. Not anymore, at least. I would have to give it to Evan Mobley. I would have to give it to Evan Mobley and possibly Dyson Daniels.
So you're going with Dyson Daniels. I like that.
I'm
like
telling
that
you,
pick.
his numbers are
insane.
Crazy,
the 3.1 steals.
Crazy.
Insane.
Three steals, the blocks. You look at all his percentages, they're nuts.
So you got Evan Mobley for Defensive Player of the Year. Let's talk about who do you have for most improved?
Most improved is so tricky because it's not supposed to be called most improved. JJ spoke on this, I think, last week, and he said the most improved is one of the most, I wouldn't say rigged, but it's just one of the most not.
About how it's for a guy who got to pay the max contract and had a better season.
And is it not true? Look at who for the past 5 years. Look at who's all been the most improved.
Yeah,
how was Cade?
Tyrese.
How was
Market and John Morant?
Tyrese. John Morant.
Yeah.
John Morant since his first year, we loved him.
Year before that, which I actually thought was kind of fair. Julius Randle.
That's fine. That's fine.
Brandon Xavier Ingram.
Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham should win it.
Are you serious, man?
He's taking Detroit to the playoffs.
But that's because he was good last year. Cade was good last year. I think we're getting confused.
He was good. I understand.
That's what I'm saying. You just want another award. You want somebody who genuinely is going from being a star to being an actual all-star. That's what you want. That's because that's what it was. Cade was a star last year. Now he's an all-star. That's all it was. For somebody that's a most improved, that's somebody that's somebody who goes from like 5 points to like 15. That's something like that. Like
he's contributing to wins now, though.
A Kobe White last year. That was supposed to be most
different.
Improved. That's not different.
Right.
Was he a star of the year before that? Was he? No, but that's the whole point.
But
Tyrese Maxey was a star.
He was an all-star. He had that big jump to being a star.
Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey were the duo. Even when James, because that's the whole point. I can tell you this now. That's how you know it's going to go back. When James Harden was there, that was their trio. It was Tyrese Maxey,
James Harden.
Exactly. So how is he even getting a most improved when he was a part of a trio with James Harden and Joel Embiid?
Because he still averaged 25.6.
Stop it, man. That's not most improved. That means that you went from being a nice star to now being an all-star. So JJ, me and JJ are wrong. We're completely out of sight.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's just a shade to Cade, and maybe a little bit Ja. But
maybe a little bit of Ja.
Yeah, when Ja won it in 2022.
That doesn't make sense. Ja should have never been it. I just feel like it could go to so many actual players that's actually most improved.
I'm not rocking with these. I'm not rocking with it.
That's fine.
Who's your sixth man?
Fine. Who's coming off the bench just striking? Ty Jerome. Kaysen's coming off nice. I don't know if his name's really like in the actual conversations. Kaysen is pretty nice. I
Peyton
feel like
Pritchard?
No.
I think Peyton Pritchard could easily win it with his impact and how he's been playing. I just think he gives them such a spark when they need it, and I just really, that's what I see.
A spark, and he goes 3 for 9. Like mind you, he gets his shots off. He gets a lot of shots off, a lot of misses off. He makes some of them. He does, and when he does make it, it's usually a nice clip. It's a lot of shots he takes, man. But they obviously, we know who we're talking about, the Celtics, so
that's true.
They take crazy.
Or we could look at a guy like Malik Beasley, who just eclipsed
That's
300
where you're
threes.
talking. No, he's breaking records, franchise records.
So that could be another player. But I think just Peyton Pritchard, because he's getting that spotlight with the Celtics, he's going to get more recognition for it. I just see Peyton Pritchard taking it home. He's minus 1,000 right now on Vegas odds. He's got it locked.
Then he got it locked.
I think he's got it locked. And I think second would be Malik Beasley for me. That's just what it would be. And
can we talk about numbers? What about Hunter? No.
You can't. He started some of the year. Once you start 20 games, I don't think you're eligible.
You're eligible.
For sixth man of the year?
He didn't start 20 games. When he started in Atlanta, he didn't start 20 games.
He started
in
Atlanta.
Not. Only because people were injured. I still don't think he started 20. When we got him, he was still coming up game.
No.
He was averaging 24 off the bench. Every stat line that they showed, it literally said averaging
when
off
I went
of
to go
bench.
watch him, he wasn't off the bench.
That's probably because somebody was injured. All of his stats would always say averaging off the bench.
I guess.
Let's see if he's still in the race. Is he still in the race? I'm pretty sure he's in the race, dog. I think he's eligible. I'm pretty sure. I would say between Malik, I feel like I don't want to possibly go in two, but Ty, that's what I'm saying. Ty's been going nuts.
That's crazy.
Who saved basketball? Who saved basketball?
You know what?
Who saved basketball?
Aaron Wiggins, but
he's not even in your talks.
No, he's not. So I'm gonna move this
so
because the bias is
are you only
consuming
taking consideration?
The bias is consuming you.
How? You're talking about Peyton Pritchard, dog.
Bias is consuming you
over like Malik or anybody like that.
Yeah. Who's your? You know what? How about this? Because I'm trying to get through these awards.
That's fair.
Rookie of the year. We can say it unanimously. I got Stephon Castle. Why not?
Unanimously.
Unanimous.
Honestly, I can agree with that.
Exactly,
I can agree with that. I think
great.
only because the way that he carries himself after Vic's injury.
Now
I can agree.
Ricochet's. I think he's going to be a decent player.
You do.
Okay. I think he's going to be a decent player. Okay. You're not going to be bad. MVP, you already said you think Yoke. I'm going to go Yoke too. I think he's probably going to win it.
I don't like the way you said that. You sound a little angry.
What you got for coach? Who's coach of the year? Do we do JB?
You know who's going to win coach of the year. That's what I'm saying. Apparently, like, me being biased of the number one team is nuts.
Kenny Atkinson is up there. He is.
He's going to be the coach of the year.
He's minus 260, but I think you have to give it to JB. And I think it's going to be one of those awards like you guys were good last year. JB was not even in the playoffs. Okay. That's why they're going to give it to him. I just think, and he's got those young boys hungry. I think
JB wasn't a playoffs last year.
No, I understand he was, but taking the Pistons, that roster.
JB's a good, like, obviously I'm gonna say he a good coach.
I know, but he got fired. A good coach. So when you look at that, it's the story. It's the story. It makes the most sense for JB. I think he'll win it. But man, you've been arguing with me about this stuff.
It's almost like you want to fight. I hate you.
It's almost like you want to fight.
I hate you.
And one thing about fighting, man. I wish I had Josh Emmett's hook or overhand.
Or
Only problem is it didn't.
maybe pure brutal strength.
Only time. This is the only fight it didn't really work though, that really surprised me. Obviously, yesterday Josh Emmett and Lerone Murphy fought UFC Fight Night in the Apex. What did you make of that fight? And where do you think Lerone Murphy goes? Already being in the top 10, probably going to slide into the top 7 maybe. Where do you see him going?
I think coming into this fight, I think after seeing Emmett brutally murder possibly a man in that octagon, a.k.a.
Bryce Mitchell.
RP Bryce. It hurt to watch.
CTE boy.
Watching him do that, I think that we all thought it was going to look a little different. It was going to look different. And he didn't start the fight that bad. I don't think he didn't. He didn't start the fight that bad.
And the thing that I really noticed in the fight is that Lerone was just a lot more technical and a lot more precautious of what Emmett was going to throw, rather than Emmett really didn't know what Murphy was going to do because he's so unorthodox and does a lot of things good. I think he was just more unpredictable. And Josh is not a one-trick pony, but you obviously know he's not going to hit you with high-level grappling.
It's even though be a lot of hooks, a lot of jabs,
overhands,
it's
a lot of dirty
that.
boxing. Yeah. And I think Lerone just fought him like a kickboxer.
You gotta look at him. Emmett, that's a man of God by the UFC though. Like
it was. He's one of the top entertainers in my opinion.
He has one of the craziest weight changes. Remember, he went from what was it like? It was like 186 to like 140. So like he's nuts. But the person he just went against is basically undefeated.
Yeah,
he's basically undefeated. It's getting to the point now you're gonna start trying to put him against people that's higher ranked.
Yeah,
like he's up there now. So
and I think even when you look at Lerone Murphy, because his record's so good, you have to reward him with you got to give him like that cookie though? Now. You know how they give like Fazees, like they gave Fazees Justin.
So who would you even give him to now that he beat somebody with at least this type of name? Because Emmett was coming off a win. Like usually, no matter how old you are, when you come off a win, you have a different type of motivation now.
I'll watch Lerone Murphy and Yair Rodriguez if Rodriguez wins.
So that means that you're basically already kind of like putting Yair. Do you think that Yair just gets past that at 314? Yeah.
Okay. I think so. Okay. And like I said, that main event was, I think, the really really important card that we saw. Like I said, I think it's only because we got so much coming up with 14.
So much
and I know we've talked every episode. We've scraped on it.
We're excited, man. We won
It's
it.
every episode. I'll tell you what. It's every episode we talk about 314. But 314 doesn't get enough love, especially for like the casual fans out there.
Man, I'm ready for it
because we're getting heat. I mean, when you look at John,
like
you know what I was gonna say?
Man, come on. What? It depends.
John Silva? I was talking about him.
Look, are you gonna wear glasses when you fight?
Yeah. Come on now.
I get some glasses from Five Below to wear with you.
When we look at that on the main event to be the second fight of the main event, because obviously Yair, we'll touch base on that after. Yair's obviously going to fight Pitbull against Bryce Mitchell. What do you think of that fight? Because when I look at that fight, it doesn't excite me in the fact that it's going to be a good fight. It excites me in the fact that I get to see Bryce Mitchell get knocked out.
That's what I'm saying. I can't say it's not going to
be an entertaining fight.
Bryce has he just got a little weird over the past couple of years. So
he's a weirdo, man.
I think it's the fact that it's fighting. We have seen obviously how that ended. I think he had a seizure on
after Josh.
It was a tough watch. It was simply a tough watch. And Silva, come on, bro. His
striking is
so
amazing.
Active. Like he reminds me a little bit of Moreno a little bit too. Like the way that he kind of bobs around and he can get a little fat. Like
I like that.
I think he's gonna possibly dismantle that man. Possibly. It depends.
I think he will.
It depends where Bryce's head is at. Maybe he learned some things from Emmett. So it just depends. I think the odds are crazy.
They are.
The odds are pretty crazy.
And I think Bryce Mitchell is going to be a shell of himself. I think he had a good run when he won. When he put on those stretches of wins, he doesn't move the needle. I don't think he's that great. I think, especially after the damage he's taken, I think John Silva wins handily.
You know, if he wins this, he's going to be ranked.
Absolutely, as he should.
He will be ranked. And I think they're actually going to. I think because obviously Bryce 13. I don't think he's going to take his spot. I think he may move it to like 12 or something like that. Like I think I think like this. it depends on how good he beats him. Let's say that.
And that would be really
it depends on
interesting
how
in the
good he
featherweight
beats him.
division to see who he fights. Because then, do John Silva and Murphy fight each other, and do they meet? Because
that would be a tough fight.
That
would be a tough fight.
Because then you're almost like, all right, now you guys fight for the spot above that. So I think that makes a real interesting fight.
That whole division is nice. I like that whole division.
They are.
You?
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to know if last time I feel like when we talked about it, I don't know if you were really tapped with Pitbull. Do you have any change in heart about the Yair fight, or you think that Yair?
I really don't. I think Yair is on the second path back to getting into a championship fight. I just really think Yair is that high skilled of a kickboxer. Okay. We look at him, and Patricio Pitbull, make no mistake, is a beast. But I think there's levels, and I think the PFL is just not on that level the UFC's on. I think Yair does. If he doesn't knock him out, he will win UD 4-1 or like 5-1,
4-1
or 5-0, just because. Just because Pitbull's never been in that environment, the UFC, that's a whole different animal.
Man,
and Yair is so technical. You're almost discrediting Yair.
You're not discrediting Yair. You're understanding who Pitbull is.
I understand who Pitbull is.
5-0.
I think Yair's just he's too long.
I'll make sure he remembers that.
When
this fight happens, I'm going to make sure he remembers that fight was going to be 5-0. I do think that Yair has a little possible upper hand. But
let's make a bet. How about this? Everybody listen to this. I know you'll post this on Instagram. If that happens, if Pitbull beats,
hold on. What I just said. Beats, okay. I said Yair has the upper hand. Okay. You just said if 5-0.
I say Yair knocks Pitbull out. If he knocks him out, I'm gonna print out a picture of him getting knocked out. You have to wear it on your shirt.
He said. So basically, you're saying either he knocks him out or he's 5-0ing him. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a little picture, and you gotta put it on your shirt and wear it
for what?
Day. For the pod.
I'm saying, what is the shirt gonna say?
It's just Yair knocking Pitbull out. You seem to be a fan.
You say I'm not a Yair fan. I think he forgets that I knocked him out with Yair in UFC.
Oh, right.
I know we don't want to go there, but I think that you're forgetting who I am a fan of. I just like both.
Crazy to bring up. And
this is actually,
you know what? I'll get you the Clay Guida fight.
No, you know what? I'm gonna say honestly, this is my second favorite fight because obviously the number one that main card. We can talk about the little Pimlet fight,
which I think is gonna be a good fight too. I think you're overshadowing that.
That's only because I think what Mike Chandler is going to do to him, he may want it to be overshadowed.
Really?
Yes. Mike Chandler, he has been waiting too long. He's too hungry for the fight.
I said Michael Chandler would win on the last pod, and I think the two pods before. But now, I'm not changing.
No.
I'm not changing.
No.
I'm not changing, but I think it's going to be.
Got to him, y'all.
I think it's going to be a lot closer fight than we think, possibly.
You know what I didn't see this time, though? I didn't see Patty that fat. Patty's usually always
in shape.
Patty's usually always fat, like
and he's
very
not.
fat,
and he's in
the off season of the UFC, I guess for him.
And for him to be in shape, I think his cardio is going to be a lot better because you see his cardio give up on him.
I think it's just so unsafe because he loses all that weight in like 3 to 4 weeks, and I feel like it affects him.
Yeah,
so
it
much
can't be good for you.
He can do. I think for us to see that he's that good, even fluctuating his weight like that, I think if he now like how he is. Staying at a decent weight where you only have to cut possibly 20 pounds like a regular person, that's where it can be safe. And I think it can be a good fight. I just think Mike,
you think Mike will just probably overwhelm him?
He's very aggressive. Mike can get hit a lot. He has one of the strongest chins in the UFC still.
He does have an insane chin, I will say, for his age.
We haven't seen him in a long time, obviously for various reasons of your GOAT. We haven't seen him in a long time. But I think that he's still going to have that same aggression, same chin. I don't think that Patty has the power where he's just strictly and knocking him out. I don't think Patty has that.
I agree.
To knock on Mike.
I agree. I think you submit him.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to take it down there, that's fine. But I'm talking about just like on
the stand-up, I think Mike Chen got for handle.
And what about it? So what about Diego? Is he whooping on my unk or is Unk
you say your Unk?
Day?
I love Alex. I want him to win.
Is he whooping on my Unk, man? Just be honest, man.
It could go one of two ways. I think it's either gonna be a close fight that Alex wins,
right,
or B, a Diego Lopez just knocking Alexander Volkanovski off.
Okay,
I don't see another way. For me, Alexander finally taking the correct amount of time off, I think is really going to benefit him so much. He rushed into that second Islam fight, which I think then
he tried to rush into another fight right after too. Like
and then
Unk
yeah,
had
we
to
even
sit
thought the
down.
Ilya fight was a little
Dog,
like
Unk
already
simply
defending
had
it.
to sit down, man. Unk had to sit down and just take a break.
And I think if we get Alec Volkanovski
he rested,
he walks through.
Rested. Walk through us. That's where it gets nuts. Not against Diego.
But I don't think that's the guy we're gonna get. I think even though the Volk we're gonna get now, who's probably still a little bit past his prime,
right,
can still get like a decision against Diego.
Okay.
What do you stand on that? Do you see Diego? Do you?
I don't.
It sounds like you disagree with me.
I just don't think that Volk can possibly walk through Diego. I think it's gonna be just a good fight. I think that.
You think it's gonna be a good fight?
This is about to be a hey Unk, I'm here, and then Unk's gonna be like, wait, dog, you're not there yet. Like it's about to be like one of those like
some anime.
like a little
anime.
You still got some time to go.
Wow,
Diego's just so nice. His
striking
kicks
is amazing.
His leg kicks are insane. He can still obviously take you down, and he's Brazilian. Them Brazilian dudes, especially when there's more than one on a card, it always works out in their favor. I don't know why. Yeah. It's just something that the Brazilians have over them. So we'll see. We'll see what Unk can do. I'm so scared for that fight.
Me too.
I'm so scared for that fight because I think at that point that's where it's starting to look like Volk needs to just look into something a little different because this is a title fight. This isn't like a regular fight. This is a title fight.
Exactly. And I think
so. If he wins this, is he going on another run?
Yes, but a knockout, him getting knocked out by Diego, could potentially put his career to bed for at least a while until he needs money.
I don't want to think about this.
There's no reason, especially he has a daughter on the way. You don't want to get knocked out another time. That's bad. That got to be bad for you. So I just don't see it. Speaking of just getting knocked out and being an absolute bum.
A bum?
Jamal Hill not fighting Khalil Roundtree as that bout has been canceled due to injury.
And we had a long little segment on this last time. What did we say? What's going on with these fighters?
I remember I said he was going to call out.
What's going on with these fighters, though? Like, am I missing something, dog? I'm not even mad about him calling out because, I want to see Jamal win. Dog, I need to see you get knocked, bro. I need to see you get knocked out. Like, bro, I'm not laughing, dog. I'm heated, bro. Like, I ain't never seen nobody ever become liked after beating mind you, how old was Glover when he fought him? 42?
Yeah.
I don't want to do this right now, man. Jamal, man, if you're listening, because he obviously listens to everything. Like, all hate comments, he replies back to everything. I don't know what's wrong with him, dog. Get it together, man. Get it together. How do you
together is crazy.
How do you feel about
this? I don't think he's that good.
And you want to know what? And it's not a bad way.
He got Dana privilege.
You slightly made me a fan of
Glover.
You slightly
did I actually?
It was after the Glover fight. I think that obviously we were all somewhat on his good side. He had us all like, because even though he beat the old man, he had a lot of respect for him. Remember that? He had a lot of respect. So he was like,
and his striking,
you slightly put me onto him.
And the fighting, and his striking in that fight was pretty good. I thought he definitely showed some promise, but against a 42-year-old Glover, we don't really know.
Cocky. And I think going into Alex's fight, he was still like, and then that week before, I don't know if you remember this, you know how they all have the little get together, like where they have the interviews, everything of that sort. Jamal was talking crazy about Alex, not talking crazy, like talking about like I'm about to pull his own move and knock him out, knock him out. And I think that's where it was like, hold on, what's going on? And then it was like, this is not about to look good. Then we skip points. We skip to a cutscene, and now Alex is telling Herb Dean, get off me, and then he knocks him out.
Cold.
It's not. I don't know what's going on with Jamal, man. This is a very downhill road.
Spiral. It's a downhill spiral.
A 2-year spiral that bad. It's got to be studied.
But speaking of taking the opportunity, a chance, Ian Machado Gary's replacing that fight, and Charles Prate will fight him. Who do you see winning that fight?
Boy, oh boy, let's talk about Carlos, man. Man, oh man. I'm not a big fan of Ian. Ian's still good. I don't know, man. Carlos.
Do you think Carlos is gonna win against such a high level fight? And I'm
not gonna say that he's gonna win just very confidently. Like, he's about to just knock him out or unanimous decision, but
It's gonna be a close fight.
Carlos can make that fight very fun. I think because Ian's gonna go in there, and I think he's on like a straight and narrow where he knows that he has to kind of get back for some stuff that happened the past like year or so where he was calling out fights, he was getting sick, so he realizes that he has to be a little bit more serious now. He doesn't talk, obviously, he don't post as much anymore, so I think that he's knowing where this is going. Carlos gonna give him a run for his money. I'll say that. I'm not gonna say he's gonna win, but Carlos will at least give him a fight.
We know why Ian hasn't been posting.
Huh?
We know why Ian hasn't been posting.
I think we can't say it on live air.
I can say it. It's his girlfriend. I'm not gonna say it. I'll just put it nicely.
Yeah, put it for the kids, man.
He watches his girlfriend.
All right, see, look, that's not for the kids.
Go
that's
in the
not
kitchen
for the
with the
kids.
boyfriend
That's
and
not
make
for
food.
the kids, man. No,
Nah,
man.
that's a good way to put it.
Let's just say
he's simply just an avid watcher, and that's all I'll say about that. We won't dig
avid watcher.
I won't dig too deep into it. But that's obviously
I think that we've taken it too far to the point where we're
discrediting his fighting, which I could totally agree with. I do still think he beats Carlos. I just don't see Carlos
because he isn't good. That's the whole point. That's why I just think that Carlos can give him more for money. I may have to agree. I think that Ian could win.
Yeah.
I think that Carlos will just make it a good fight. I think it'll be a good fight.
I like that.
What's up?
I feel
like you're about to say something so crazy.
I'm not about to say something.
Avid watcher.
Chill out. Actually, I do have something crazy to say. I read something today, and I want you to tell me what you think about it and tell me how ridiculous it is.
Right.
And then we'll jump into that topic of conversation. I read a mock draft from Maurice Jones-Drew, and it said Travis Hunter 7 to the New York Jets. What are your thoughts on how crazy that would be if Travis Hunter were to even fall out of the top 5?
And the bad thing is, I know that because of what I said last week, he probably think that I'm related to Maurice Jones. 7 is that's
ridiculous. It's just unrealistic.
That's unexplainable. We all know, no matter what has happened since the end of the season, we're talking about the Heisman player, not a player that was the Heisman that went both ways, Pauls. There's no way he's falling to 7. There's no way. And even if he got past the 4s, no way. What Jags are passing upon him? They are? The Raiders are
Never. No. The Raiders to pass up, he had them.
The Jags to pass up on him if he's available.
Yeah.
No. The
Raiders select Ashton Genty with the 6th pick, which is I think a reach too.
Patriots?
Nope.
No.
They'll draft him.
No.
I'm telling you right now, I can see Cleveland. I actually see a
Do you agree with at least his top?
For people who don't know,
5?
who haven't gone to the YouTube and checked out my mock draft that came out, I want to say a couple weeks ago, I was super avid about the number 1 pick being Travis Hunter. And then we saw more of the Cam Ward stuff. And then
Cam Ward is taking over.
But for me, that didn't drop Travis tremendously on my list. I had him maybe going 3, 4. Latest I have him is 5. Anything past that, I think you're discrediting him for being able to play both positions. And I think if he drops, it'll be for the sole reason that teams just don't know what position to put him at, because you can't put him at both in the NFL.
I don't know about all of that.
Do you know the other 2 players in the NFL that played 2 positions? Who played wide receiver? Champ Bailey, Charles Woodson.
And we know
all pro defensive
I'm
players.
I'm an fan, and I said, yeah.
So, all pro on defense. I think defense is a lot harder position to play on offense.
Right.
I think he's a corner. So you need to look at who needs the corner more.
A corner that can run.
New England, he fits the scheme in New England perfectly. I mean, you already have Drake May, and the wide receiver room's a little choppy. If you throw Travis on there a couple plays and make it interesting and give him a couple reps on the offense, I think for me, he goes number 3.
That's hilarious that you think that, because Maurice Jones thinks that the Patriots will be selecting Will Campbell. He thinks that Will Campbell will fall at 4, and he thinks that at the number 5 spot that's going to the Jaguars, McMillan.
Teddy Torah.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? Teddy Torah on my big board is pretty high. top 5 high, I wouldn't say so. But if the Jags did reach up there and grab Teddy, I'm not looking at that like that's the craziest pick of the draft. The craziest, I think what would actually surprise me more is Gentry went 6.
Last time I said that, I think that he's going pretty high.
And
I stand by that. I don't think McMillan's going high. We saw what Steve Smith said about that man. When Steve Smith gives his take or analysis on a wide receiver,
yeah,
you tend to listen.
You tend to listen
because of what happened when we speak about a guy called Mr. Cooper Kupp, who he vigorously told us what that player was, what was going to happen, and then it happened. He's had multiple different instances. Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy didn't really pan out.
Jerry, you know what? I'll say Jerry Jeudy may be the first one who's actually kind of outstood.
Beat the allegations after one game.
He beat the allegations.
Yeah.
He beat the allegations.
After having one game
of... Smith was low-key about it. You feel me? They was looking about to throw down. But when he told us, and don't get it twisted, I think that, I think he's just like he could be like a top 12, top 15 pick. I don't know if I got him going to my top 10 now. I don't know. I don't know.
Your top 10. Okay, I like that.
If he does go in your top 10, we're not looking at Maurice's pick where he's going 5. Where do you have him at? You think Carolina's going to take him or like the Saints?
Are you talking about Teddy?
Yeah. The
Saints won't select. I'll tell you right now, if Shadort ends up sliding as much as some people say, I think maybe the Saints pick him up.
Okay.
Which would be a steal.
So some people are talking about the Saints are trying to actually trade up into the first round again.
And depending on how the beginning of the draft goes, you might not have to. Because you should be sitting right there.
I don't know. It depends. It depends on how they're feeling.
For me, Jackson Dart's still a second-day quarterback.
That's
you might see somebody
to trade up for him, though.
But I will say this.
Come on.
If you see Cam Ward and Shador Sanders go in the top 5, both of them, you're going to see a team begin to get desperate.
I don't want to talk. Hold on, wait, bro. Who do you think that he has? I don't want you to look at your screen. Please don't look at your screen. Who do you think that this man has for his 10th pick for the Chicago Bears? Please don't look down. Stop.
Oh, please, this is a different thing.
Okay, please.
Who
do you think that Maurice Jones has for the number 10 spot?
Oh, was it Mike Green?
No. Out of every single person you could ever think of, who do you think so, bro? I'll give you a hint. He is a running back.
No, Hampton? Not Genty.
Oh,
Henderson. From Ohio State.
Trayvon Henderson.
In
this man's third-day pick is a 10th pick. 10th pick in this man's draft.
A 10th pick is absolutely ridiculous.
He's
a third-day running back at best.
Shamar Stewart's going in the top 17 for him. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Jackson Dart goes 21 to the Steelers.
I like that.
I actually like that. Why does Jackson Dart? And you want to know why? I think Jackson Dart, and it hurts me to say, I think Jackson Dart or Arch Manning would actually look beautiful in a Steelers jersey. And I don't know why.
That was so crazy to say from you.
I don't know why, but they would simply they would. Okay. They would just fit. I
think Arch looks good in a Titans jersey.
No.
Ew. If you get him some receivers,
right?
Because they've never had a franchise. Air McNair.
Yeah.
They never had a real star for years to come. The generational talent that we think he's going to be, we touched on it early.
He has to be.
I know people have been seeing it on the gram what we said about Arch.
Build a player, but
he's literally a fast Manning, and that's going to be huge. But that's for the next year's draft.
You could talk early though. You can progress.
You can, and I think you know what? I'll put it this way: Giants don't select a quarterback; they're going to save him up for Arch.
That's fine.
And it's going to be Manning, and Giants land.
His draft is crazy though. Shamar Stewart 17 to the Bengals. I mean, I guess if you want, they would need an edge because why? Trey is I think he's knocking at their door at this point. He needs his money. He needs it now. He needs it now.
And he deserves it. 17.5 sacks. I mean,
he's playing insane.
Led the league in tackles for loss.
Yeah.
When you look at a guy like that, not only do I think he has a case for DPOY that year, which he didn't
This is
win.
actually 2 years in a row that he's doing this too. This isn't just I'm here this one year.
And I think it's because that defense just holistically doesn't play well. That's why. That's the only reason why.
But we know if not even watching his stats and watching alone, it's not just stat padding either. He's doing all he can. When your secondary is giving you no options at all, it doesn't matter what you're doing. And I guess you could be like, well, you're not getting to the quarterback quick enough, dog. If he even throwing that ball up in the first 2 seconds and y'all can't do anything, it doesn't matter what I do.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what he does. Their defense is obviously terrible. They spent no money on their defense this year, so right now it's looking a little scary for the Bengals.
But I like that pick that you said. I like the pick from the Bengals. I actually
that's what I'm saying. For somebody for the edge, I guess if you have to look at least into that, if you don't want to spend the money, look into it. Look into it.
So when we look at that edge rusher,
Yeah.
and we look at the defensive players in this draft who I think are very underappreciated in this year's draft because we're solely looking at the offensive side of the ball. Give me your top 3 defensive players on your big board coming out of the draft right now, and where do you see them falling? Because I know we kind of touched base a little bit on it on the defensive side of the ball, I believe last week or the week before. But who are your top 3 defensive players in the draft?
I'm going to say this, and I know I went over a little bit last week, and you kind of looked at me a little crazy, but that's only because I have him that high. I do think that Mason Graham from Exagen, I do think that he's a top 3 defensive player, at least in this draft. My number 1,
Abdul Carter. Was it
Travis Hunter?
Wow. On your big board for defense, I think player. No.
I think I may be getting it mixed up with how much of an impact of a player.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't. See
I don't know. But either way, it would have to be Abdul and I guess Trav. I guess fighting for you. That's what I'm saying. Trav wouldn't be in your top 3.
He would.
That's what
I have. Abdul, Trav, and then you said you have Mason Graham.
That dog.
I think Will Johnson can be a lockdown corner.
But how high is Will Johnson going?
I could see him going in the first round. I can see him going as low as 13.
He will go in the first round. I don't think he's going in that top 15.
Ooh,
I just don't.
So
he's that good. I just don't think he's.
Where does Will Johnson fit for you, team wise? If he's sliding out of that top 15, like you say, where does he fit good?
He would be. I can even say it just depends on how far he drops. If we're looking at it going the full 32. I'd say the Vikings could look at him. They just let go of that. What's his name? He just got sent to the Colts. He was number 24. Like they just let go. He could be nice for them. You can even look at someone like the Chargers. Your Broncos could even look at it something. I guess absolutely not. They're going to pair him up with the defensive player of the year.
No,
he could.
They'll actually.
He could.
If the Broncos do any reaching, it'll be for Omar and Hampton from North Carolina.
I would hope that maybe the Bengals could look into something on their defense. Possibly.
I think that could work too.
He will go in that first round. I just don't know if he's going in the top 15. Mm-hmm. That's it. I don't know.
So that's your top 3 set in stone. It's Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Mason Graham. That's all right. So our list is kind of the same. I just have.
You can say Walker.
You can say Walker. He's a good linebacker. Walker, but where do you see him falling?
I think he goes possibly in the top. Now he goes top 15. I would say possibly top 12.
Wow, I had him going to Tampa, and I don't think that changes for me.
18 or 19 or something.
They're 19.
Yeah,
and
which isn't bad.
And not bad. And the reason why I have him sliding so far down because a lot of people see him being a high level talent. I think when we look at the upside of guys like Mikael Williams. Who is his teammate, and we look at Jahad Campbell from Alabama, they have a higher ceiling when we know Jalen Walker is a more sure thing now.
He's nice.
Nice.
He's very active, and I'll say this because he goes on the line a little bit to play that edge.
Absolutely.
And he's a bull rusher. Like he can bull rush you and still play that zone. Very, very nice. So he been in that top 3 too.
If there's a team in the draft that should trade up for a top 5 pick and select who is it, and who do they pick?
For a top 5
pick.
But that depends.
A team out.
Wait, stop.
Look at the team
because you have to look at what does that team have to give up to trade for that top 5.
We're suing for a top 5. It's your first round, second, third.
First, second, and third for a top 5
in this year's draft. Yeah, first and second maybe.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would have to be more for a top 5 pick. Like that's like
2 first round picks. Yeah. Let's say it's 2 first round picks. Let's do baseline here. What team should do it?
Trade up. Because it would have to be a team obviously that's in like the top 10 because they're that bad already.
Do the Steelers get Shador?
I don't think the Steelers would have even enough to, or nah. I just don't think the Steelers would do that to trade into the top 5. Mike Tomlin wouldn't allow that. I don't think. Like, they're just not the organization that would do that, I feel like.
I don't know. You're stacking up on the free agents. You can get rid of some picks. I could see that.
I don't know. Who's going to go to trade up into that top 5? That's what I'm saying. I feel like it would have to still be somebody in that top 10. Like, they would have to just try to get higher. I think that's it. I don't think there's somebody from, like, anywhere past that 15. Like, I don't
Want a
think
hot
that.
take?
Huh?
Want a hot take?
Say it.
Travis Hunter is there at 5. Dallas Cowboys are going to call.
Whoa. Is that why they did nothing this whole offseason or whatever? But they even waited to just give us the bomb of the offseason?
Yeah. And they select Travis Hunter. They're 12. You can trade that 12th pick 5 to... You can trade that pick 5 to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is kind of in a spot where, I mean, yeah, they need players, but there's no... You have right now, 5th pick, they have them selecting Armand from Missouri, the O-tackle.
Okay.
So when you look at that, O-line comes all every round. I mean, you can get a solid O-line in 1 through 6.
Right.
7, it starts getting choppy. So I can see Jacksonville trading it up. I see.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You know,
I see Jacksonville trading it. So I could see that happen. Travis Hunter to the Dallas Cowboys, and I hate Dallas, but it's a great move for him. I think it'll definitely set the franchise off in an interesting
We're not going to talk
path.
about what Dak has been saying, man. He's very faithful about the Cowboys, man.
He is. And for somebody who has not played a full season, and I can't say that early in his career because obviously that'd be false. But later in his career, not playing all 16 games, for him to have so much optimism, it really surprises me. And that's why they traded for Joe Milton.
Though. You made me realize something. You said it like a little bit right before we started watching the episode. He told me all Dallas QBs or any Dallas player, they're just celebrities at this point. It's almost like you being on the Los Angeles Lakers, correct? Is it not kind of the same thing?
Absolutely.
And it's very true.
You list some of the oldest quarterbacks. We even know them. Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was a great quarterback.
Insane. Even Tony Romo. Even Tony Romo, dog. Like
all these quarterbacks, they, in my opinion, while they are good quarterbacks, some of them have amounted to be good quarterbacks.
I don't know why when you said Troy's name, I can't. Now his smile is deeply fried in my brain right now with his pearly whites. I don't know why. I don't think I've seen someone get veneers like that. I apologize to cut you off.
He's awesome though.
Please keep going.
He's awesome.
He is.
He's a baller.
He is.
So we have to say they're just celebrities.
Right.
We all know who they are. They have big names, big reputations, and a name they got to live up to, and that's Jerry World. If you don't follow Jerry World, I think
die, Jerry, die.
That's wild.
Die, Jerry, die. I don't think I've seen an actual franchise wait for someone's death like this. This is nuts.
I never seen anything like
this. Is nuts. Like my father, he's a Cowboys fan, and he specifically told me the man needs to go. Where does he need to go, Dad? The casket. Where does this is different, man. Like this is crazy, man. It's like he's doing this now for like a record. Like I think like he actually has a vendetta against the Dallas Cowboys. Out of that, or he just loves money so much that he doesn't like to give it away.
I think it's that, and I think it's just old age. He just has too much pride. Don't want to give up the team.
Too much pride of how many years? What?
You'd be surprised.
What time do you realize?
I think the Cowboys too make so much money. Wow, that wind is crazy outside.
I don't know if they can hear this. It's a tornado watch. This is how dedicated we are. It's a tornado watch. It's a tornado watch.
Didn't even know that.
My dog is here. He pulled up on me. He still had to get that video in, and we're just hearing the winds just smack right now.
Yeah.
This sounds a little wild.
That sounded crazy.
That sounds crazy.
But I will say this. So I know we just talked about Jerry World, Cowboys.
Yeah.
And we talk about the direction that team's going because obviously I think they're probably going to stay the same.
Uh-huh.
But give me your top 3 rising teams of the 2025-2026 season. Who are the 3 teams in your eyes that are going to take this big jump and go to the next level potentially?
I'm going to say But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if this would be a little biased because I think we all kind of already saw the potential that they had. Or do the Redskins get counted as that, or because of how far they went last year? Even though it was a surprise, does that count or no?
Let's not count it because
That's
for your
fair.
ceiling to be a championship game,
They
it's pretty awesome.
can't be in the playoffs. They couldn't be in the playoffs last year, correct? Correct.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears. They spent too much money.
So
They've
wow.
simply spent, which they usually do somehow. They're always all season champs and they never are good. This season, at least for the line, for Caleb Williams, which they did zero effort for Justin Fields at all. They have to at least touch 9 games. No,
Okay.
8.
So that's high. That's high rising for them.
That is high
absolutely.
rising. That is
You're
high
right.
rising.
Who's your second team?
Second, I'm a say the Jets because
Wow, Justin
yes,
Fields.
yes,
High praise for
because,
Justin Fields.
only because the way that his coach has been talking about him. His coach wrote it down.
Aaron Glenn is awesome.
Very good. He said this. He said that he's our number 1 player, but it's not written in pencil.
Yeah.
It's not written in pencil to the point like just know you still got to work for it. You still got to work for it. And the way that he coaches his team, mind you, they still got Hall. They still got some of that defense.
I do
just resign that safety. Like
I think Justin will have a good year because I think this year is going to be really like
he gets to
you
have
gave
his
up
time.
on this.
He has his time.
His time now.
It could be a Geno right back. Geno got paid $85 million. All right, my bad.
We won't get into that. That's too long of a pod.
Geno got $85 million.
Ridiculous.
2-year extension. It could have.
65 guaranteed.
65 guaranteed. Yeah, like. But that's what I was saying, bro.
But yeah,
the Jets. I say 9. I feel like I gotta look at their schedule too. It could be 10.
Okay.
It could be somewhere where like Justin has just a crazy whatever. And
so you got Bears, Jets.
I would hope that this. I feel like this would be so kind of corny. I'll use this as an honorable mention. Can I have 2 honorable mentions?
No, you have one more team. It's
okay,
the Jets.
after doing my 3rd team, I can get 2 honorables.
No, it's the Jets.
That's after the game.
Okay,
that's after the game. Okay,
honorable, but you can't give no.
Okay, the Patriots.
Wow, that's not what I thought.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Shout out Sam Drake. It's the same thing. They're gonna, bro.
Wow.
Think about the money involved, dog. They at least on the O line alone, they love Drake. They love Drake.
That's true.
They love.
That's true.
Like,
I think Drake May is going to be one of the better quarterbacks. He's going to have a great sophomore season. I think he's really going to
great sophomore season, and we're about to watch him and Bo compete. Like I think this is about to be like. I think it's about to be like this year, where like we actually can see a start of who's going to be possibly a good QB in the upcoming years. So I think this could be like the year.
Sophomore season, in my opinion, is more important than your rookie season.
It is because rookie, you have to accept so many mistakes,
and you have to learn everything too.
You simply do.
But I think Drake May's going to accept. I think he's really going to progress in this offense. I think especially with Mike Vrabel, even though he's a defensive coach, I think he's going to bring in somebody that really can help Drake May develop. So I'm recently with Belichick in North Carolina, so I know he's probably catching tips from one of the greatest coaches of all time. Now, who are your 2 honorable mentions? Because I'm waiting for you to say a name, and I won't get
honorable mentions. I'm gonna say the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks. They just got Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold can give them, I guess, even a little bit of grace, like he did the Vikings, because the Vikings, they kind of got screwed last year. Mm-hmm. They got screwed last year, and somehow they dealt their hand that they were dealt with and won out of it. I don't know how it worked, and it's only because of one man, and it's Sam Darnold. I can't say that. Their defense was very good.
Okay.
Defense was very exceptional, but Sam Darnold, he played his part very good. So if Sam could do that, even with losing the receivers, you know who just became the number 1.
Yeah.
JSN.
JSN's tough.
Hey, went out there. You can possibly pair him with somebody else in the draft. Maybe get a veteran like Amari Cooper or something. You could do anything at this point. Yeah. You got the money. Obviously, like now you have the money. Like you gave away pieces, like key pieces. So honorable mention them. I want to see another one. That's what I'm saying. I feel like at first I was gonna say that, but I don't know. Cardinals, I feel like could possibly be out there too.
Okay, I see that with Josh Sweat.
Actually,
they get somebody together. Yeah, I do. You know, I'm surprised you didn't say a certain team, and I'm not being biased. I'm surprised you didn't say Denver.
I was going to, but they went to the playoffs. You said I couldn't do any playoff teams.
You could have. I think they're.
Oh,
I think,
wait.
No.
I can
but
do
mean
Washington, but
championship
I can do
game,
the Broncos.
because
Y'all see
championship
this?
game is too high of a ceiling
Stop.
for me.
You said,
I think Broncos.
when
I think
asked you,
Broncos
you
can
said,
win a
you
playoff
said
game
that they
now.
couldn't be in the playoffs.
I think
That's
Broncos.
what you said.
Because now I'm going a step further. I think. Wow, that range
This
is
is-
crazy. This is different.
You gonna make it? You gonna make it off?
I
If y'all
know.
don't see this video, just know. Just know something.
Exactly. And if
deeply
you're
happens
seeing
to my
this, I
brother.
got home safe. But yeah, when I look at Denver,
Uh-huh.
I see them winning a playoff game. But that's it. That's the ceiling for me. I just don't see them doing anything else.
Next year?
Evan Ingram, I really do. I see them winning a playoff game, beating somebody in a real game, not wild card. Or
So you just
Yes.
did like that's. Are you saying that because of who you think that you're gonna have to face, or because of who the team is?
easier schedule, and the acquisitions that they
I'm
made.
talking about when you guys make it to the playoffs. I think we both. I agree. You guys are going to the playoffs. We're saying, do you think that you're not making it past 2 games because
We
of
could
who you
we could
play?
beat the Bills
That's
with the defense.
He
yeah.
said this last year also. So I don't know if I can believe you because you're a Broncos fan or you're actually saying that, because you did say this last year and you didn't even believe that last year, dog. I know you didn't.
I think they can beat the Bills with the defense they have now. The Broncos got ran over that playoff game. Like I said, we're not gonna really
They
get
got
into it.
ran over.
Literally.
Stop, bro. Like,
Delvin Cook wants 15
Dog.
M's, by the way, for that game, which blows my mind. That he said he wants 15 M's for that game. But I'll say this. When I see them doing something.
You know who else is an honorable mention?
Who?
Chargers.
Chargers. That's where we're gonna.
No,
end it.
that's
I
what I'm
can't
saying.
talk about the Chargers.
That's more biased.
No, you're right. No, I'm
this
kidding.
Is
Yes.
so biased.
I agree.
This is
I
so
agree.
biased.
But that all is predicated on Justin Herbert's performance.
No, it's all also dedicated to how that whole division goes. So
Yeah, that's very true.
I
as
will
well.
say I think that. No, I don't know. I think it also depends on the Raiders too. I think
Yeah.
it. I don't know.
I'll say one thing, though.
Who's the toughest division? Dude? Is it
AFC
still?
West.
Is it still?
AFC West
we
and
lost?
AFC. Yeah.
No, I think that we lost when the Browns weren't as good.
Fell off,
We,
yeah.
we fell off as the tough because, man, 2023. When I said that
Oof.
whole division
You're right.
was crushing,
I'll
but
tell you what, though, you know it's rough when we get to talking about our teams. You know it's rough. And you know
I just
that
wanna
means
talk
it's
ball
time.
with my
No,
dog.
you know that
I
means
can't
it's
even
time.
talk ball with my dog.
We're getting
man.
way too
Like,
excited.
I would
And I
hate-
think that's good
I
that
would
we're
hate to
getting
do that.
excited, but we're not Joe Rogan. We're not there yet for the 3
are.
hours. But I'm telling you what, consistency's key. I love that I'm getting that Apple notification saying to pull up,
He's
make
saying
the
consistency
pod,
key because he was able to go on a vacation for 2 weeks and he came back.
and he not getting
This
one.
is real consistency, y'all. Like, we here. You know what? I'm gonna take the vows of rapping this one up today.
Oh, go ahead.
This is your co-host Ayden Jones. I just want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching the episode. I
wow.
lovely doing my brother once again. We obviously talk ball, talk
Yes, sir.
football. Tell your family, tell your friends, man.
To tap in.
Tap in,
Tap
get back. We
Follow
here.
the Instagram, go subscribe,
Come
like,
on.
comment on the YouTube. This will be up on YouTube probably tomorrow.
Come
Y'all
on.
seeing it because we do these on Sundays. I'm your host, Damian Dusten, here with Ayden Jones.
Thank you guys so much for watching. the
And I
Get
want
Back
everybody to know,
podcast.
I was wearing the jerseys first, not him. I don't know. He's on that weird stuff. You sit right there.
Man, no, shut it back. Shut it back.
Just know I started the
Let me move the
trend.
hair out the way, y'all. Oh, wait.
Much love,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen. Get back. God.